Hey everybody, it's Nick here again for Grayscale Gorilla. I am the Gorilla, and today I wanted to show you guys some of the new physics features in MoGraph 2.0 in Cinema 4D 11.5. I just wanted to kind of open up the program and show you how to set this stuff up. So let's hop into new Cinema 4D 11.5 and see what the heck we're doing. So here we are. Now, originally, kind of the first way you want to do it is set up your particles anyway with using a cloner object. So I'm actually going to use a cube. I'm going to grab a cloner object and put the cube in it. There we go, just like that. And by default, you're going to see the cloner is, you can kind of set it to go higher and higher. This is a linear cloner. Set this to grid array, and you're going to shrink the size of your cube down just a bit. You're going to see what happens. Here we go. So now you can see we have a 3x3x3 cube set using the cloner. And we're actually going to build this up even more. So we're going to shrink the cubes a little bit more, and then we're going to add in the cloner object more count. So let's go 6 by 10 by 6. Actually, let's keep this down for now. So 6 by 6 by 6. You're going to see we're going to try to spread these apart so they're not touching. And there we go. So now we have a big grid of particles here. Or they're just cubes now, but we're kind of quickly going to turn them into particles. So you grab a plane. This is going to be the floor. This is what everything's going to bounce off of. And we're going to set up the floor. Looking good. Okay, so watch how easy this is. We have our plane, we have our cloner object. Once you highlight them both, command click or right click, and you're going to go to MoGraph tags, rigid body, just like that. If you go back to the beginning and click play, you're going to see instant physics. There it is. That's literally how easy it is to set up the new physics options. Now, take a look at these two tags that we made. One is on the cloner object, and you're going to see it has like a little white thing here. The other one's on the plane, and you're going to see that it's blue. The difference is if clones are in, if you make a cloner object, then MoGraph assumes that you want those particles to have gravity and have the physics involved. If you put the same tag, identical tag, on an object that is not in a cloner object or not a clone for MoGraph, the program is going to assume that you want it to stay still, which is the plane is doing. You notice how the plane isn't falling to the ground and doesn't have gravity. And this is what makes the new physics here in MoGraph really awesome, because it's kind of self-aware of what it thinks you want it to do. Now, this can get a little confusing. Sometimes you want to add, let's say, a sphere. I guess it's not confusing. It's just kind of a workaround here. I'll show you. Sometimes, let's say we want this sphere to come down and smash into all these particles we made and kind of make them fall. So I bring the sphere up, and I drag the physics tag onto it. Everything's good, and we hit play, and nothing happens. And that's because you could see right here that the object or the tag thinks that we want it to be static because it's not in a cloner object. Now there may be a setting in here, but I don't think there is. I think the only way to switch it is to, and this is kind of what my workaround here, is to put it in a cloner object. And you can see what happened and actually moved it down. What we want to do is put it in a cloner object, reduce the cloner object to 1, because we only want one sphere, and then drag the whole thing up to where we wanted it. So now you can see, and we put our tag back on the cloner object, and you can see now it turned this whitish color. Now, we have a single sphere ready for physics, ready for action. So now, boom, smash, right? So that's a kind of a quick little workaround for those types of things. Now, if you go into the settings, by default, you kind of have the basic, gravity and density settings. Let's say we wanted this ball to be a little heavier and smash kind of through the objects and add a little bit more force. We can actually come into the tag here and you can see use world density. We could actually change this to custom density and move this up to, let's say, 5. And now you can see it's going to have a little more impact when it falls and really have a lot more weight and smash through these objects. You could also come into your cube objects and reduce the density. And now, of course, there's other things we could do here in the cube cloner object. We can turn up the bounce, let's say. It's a little much. Let's see. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that's a little better. I guess don't go above 1. I'm going to set this to 0.9. Yeah, see them all bounce around now. Boing. Cool stuff, right? Fantastic. Now, you may have seen in a couple of my videos that basically there's a lot more particles in this, and you can see how quickly actually this is rendering just with the video card kind of in real time. I'm going to crank up the number of objects, and I'm going to show you how to prepare your scene once you have it ready for render. So let's see. Let's get rid of the sphere for now. And I want to kind of raise up. I'll build like one of these towers here. I'm going to go to 15 tall, and then I'm going to stretch this up so we kind of have, there we go, kind of have a taller tower here. I'm going to turn the bounce back down. I don't want them to bounce around too much on me. I'm going to hit play, and you can see now that it is taking a lot longer to render here. And you can see the tower is kind of about to fall. I'm gonna up the bounce just a little bit so we can try to make these fall a little quicker here. It's getting there. Have our ambulance coming by. Thanks. That's our cat alarm ambulance there. Because it sounds like a cat. I don't know. Okay, so let's get these puppies to fall, shall we? Here's something we could do. We can rotate the floor just a bit. You can see them start to fall here. Okay, so if you notice, if things are playing and you move them, sometimes they jump back and they're not there. So sometimes you just want to stop the simulation, move your objects where you want them to. There we go. So that's a pretty quick and dirty way to make them fall. Shake the floor on them. There we go. So you see we have everything falling. Let's add a quick light here and prepare things for render. So I'm just going to add a quick little kind of rear light. It's going to be a little kind of sun color. I'm going to have area shadows. Do a test render. And let's move this up. Yeah, that's looking okay. Next thing we're going to do is, this is a kind of a quick lighting setup. Add a sky, add a new material, and in the luminance, you're going to go to gradient, set the gradient to 2dV, and you want the sky to be maybe a little bit of a bluish, light bluish color. And then the ground can be maybe kind of a brownish color. Going to apply that to the sky. We're going to go into our settings and add global illumination. We're going to leave everything as is right now, except we're going to turn this low. And we're going to hit render. I'm going to see we have our nice little render here. And if we kind of let it play through a little bit, we have our quick and dirty light setup with our kind of fake sun rim and our fake little sky here. You can see we got some kind of good detail. We got some good kind of shadows here. I'm actually going to turn up this light a little bit, kind of give it a little bit of a brighter sun feel. There it is. That's looking good. And then, so now we have our cubes falling. That looks great. Love it. The last thing we need to do before we render our scene is cache all of these particles. So basically you want to kind of, instead of calculating on the fly, right, which is what's happening right now. On the fly, the video card and the program and everything is kind of calculating where all these cubes are going. You want to lock those cubes in. And that's mainly for rendering purposes. You don't want it to simulate differently every time it plays. You also don't want it to, if you're doing multi-machine renders or anything, you don't want it to read differently because different computers will calculate differently. So the best way to do this is to go to where your cubes are, the particles that are actually animating, and add a new MoGraph tag called MoGraph Cache. You can see we have it's kind of a little computer chip here, and it's kind of off or in this kind of brown color. And all you have to do is go back to the beginning and hit bake, and you can see it's going to calculate. There it is. And you can see now that this chip here is green. And if we hit play, you're going to see it's kind of looks like it's doing the same thing. But what's nice is it's no longer relying on anything to calculate it. Everything is baked in, and you're ready to go. So the last thing you need to do is just go to your render settings, set up your output, your size, make sure you do all the normal stuff, set it to render every frame, and kick it out. And again, you can see kind of a quick little lighting setup. You have our particles, and we have our cubes. So that's it. That's kind of the intro to the new physics options in MoGraph. I'll be doing more of these videos, so come on back for more training for the new Cinema 11.5. I'm going to dive in more to kind of some of the features. I'm still learning it as we go along, and if you guys have questions about the new features or options, feel free to email me or leave them in the comments, actually, and that's a good way to get some more tutorials. So that's it. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.